Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hi, this is Sylbourne, and I want to welcome you to the late one tonight. And title of the show tonight is a different one, which is "Go with the Flow," which is "Don't go with the flow." I didn't say go with the flow. Don't go with the flow. And it's a concept which I've created a few years ago because everybody seems to want to go with the flow. Okay, and I'm going to speak on that. But most importantly, uh, I'm just trying to share this thing here at the same time. Bear with me for a second. And thank you for coming on. And please share the video. Because I realized that through the course of the show, which. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the late one with myself, Sylbourne Studio. Just a little bit dark today, just a moment ago as we're about to start the show. But nevertheless, still, it's all good. Okay. All right. Okay. Fantastic. It worked. I was just hearing myself a while ago, which is good because sometimes I don't hear myself. I mean, it's interesting. Because one day I did a show. Well, I was walking and I did a video. And the interesting thing about that walk was that it was a very good video. I really enjoyed that video. And in the process, and when I was completed, I realized that it wasn't being shown and it wasn't there. And from that day on afterwards, every time I go live now, I try to make sure that people are actually hearing me, because on that day, I realized that I wasn't being heard. So that is good that I can hear that I'm actually being heard. But I want to tell you this. I realized that on Tuesday, on Mondays and Tuesdays, I tend not to go live because I find that I rest a lot on Mondays and Tuesdays. People rest on the weekend, but I rest a lot on Mondays and Tuesdays because I've got a lot going on from from Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday. So on Thursday, I've got Keem and David and Keisha, where we talk about the top news for the day or the top issues for the week or so. And then on the next day, which would be Thursday, after Thursday, Friday, I've got a young person where I deal with issues on, what should I say, young people and youth affairs. And then on Friday, what I do things on Cross the Atlantic, where I try to interview someone from a different country or so. Cross the Atlantic means to say they're not from the UK. It is my way of interfacing because I don't go with the flow. I'm not going to follow anybody. I'm not going to just talk on different issues, but I tend to find myself enjoy more talking with people, having that interface. It is when I had the red chair as well, and I do have the red chair still, and that is still in the pocket. COVID has sort of make us sort of think outside the box, which is good to think outside the box, and you don't have to do the same thing what everyone does and what you used to do. You got to innovate to develop and to create and to expand. One can expand in many different ways. So therefore, the Saturdays, that is what I do. And then Sunday, because of the Jamaica elections, which is up on the September the 3rd, and as a Jamaican, and I have a direct interest in that. And because I must say, most of my persons that follow me and support from are Jamaicans as well, and Black people as well, and Caribbean as well, and white people as well, and everyone as well, I have to really tap into that. So therefore, there's another show which I do for the next 2 weeks. Election is September the 3rd. So the next show on the election watch will be on the 23rd and then the 30th. And on the 23rd, we're hoping to get someone from the Labour Party and someone also another time from the People's National Party. And therefore, myself and Matunda and Dr. Kevin Brown or someone else, and make sure that we have a woman as well on the whole discussion. We're hoping to have that. So I find myself in a situation whereby there's no day that I can have it by myself where I can share my thoughts on different things. And so I said, because I've been doing these different segments and I've got lots of videos on Don't Go With The Flow. It's like the first book that I'm going to put out there. Don't go with the flow or you'll be in someone else's stream. Instead, create your own rivers. What I said I'm going to do is to do that on Wednesday. But it won't be just a motivational thing, but it's going to have an angle where tapping into things whereby we don't just flow. I don't believe in flowing just because it is typical and it is normal. I don't believe in saying BAME just because the government says and say that's the right thing to do or that's maybe the best thing to do. No, I believe that you don't have to go with that flow. You create your own. That is what I believe. Totally create your own. So therefore, what I'm going to do is just play this video, and this video is one of them which I do. I'll go with it now. Here we go. Hi, I'm Sylbourne, and I just want to share with you today. I just had a filming, and I just felt like I want to share this thought. And this thought is this: do not go with the flow, or you'll be in someone else's stream. What I say is, create your own rivers. Don't go with the flow, or you'll be in someone else's stream. Create your own rivers. You see, when you go with the flow, anything happens. You're just going left and right without purpose. Sometimes you just say, man, I don't know, I'll just go with the flow. But what I want to say is this: when you create your own rivers, and note what I said, create your own rivers, plural. Mean to say you don't just one river, you're creating streams. And you're not actually just going with the flow, you're going against the grain, creating diversions. I just want to encourage someone today, don't go with the flow. Okay, don't know what happened there, but I'm back on the track, Jack. Awesome, good. Let me see if we're there. Are we there? Yes, yes. So the concept there, as you can see, about don't go with the flow, it is that people have this tendency at times to just follow what is out there, follow the typical movement, follow the typical style, and no one sometimes want to break away from the norm. They say sometimes that staying in the comfort zone, no work. It's cheap staying in the comfort zone, right? I believe that in all things that we do, we must try to see if we can break through into different things. Be innovative, be creative. So I say, don't go with the flow. And listen to this very carefully. Don't go with the flow, or you'll be in someone else's stream. Else's stream speak about actually you are now placing yourself into another domain, and you are now being allowing yourself to just go along and just flow along. And that's dangerous. The dangerous nature of that is you're not actually in control, right? You are actually somewhat being like a sheep. And what a sheep does, it just goes with the flow. It could be danger, but they're going, right? I always say sometimes that never despise being lonely. Never despise being at the top. Never despise having that lonesomeness about you, because sometimes being lonely at the top is also one of the best things you can do, because the crowd is not always best. The crowd is not always correct. The popular view, the popular opinion may not be the right thing. Sometimes it may be, but I think most time it is not. That is why sometimes you got many marches, many demonstrations, and whatever, and sometimes it doesn't attain or achieve much. So it says, don't go with the flow or you'll be in someone else's stream. And it says, instead, create your own rivers. create your own rivers. And when I said create your own rivers in the concept, that concept is now that you are creating your own, and you're not just doing one, but rivers is plural. The plurality of that is you can do this, you can do that. Sometimes they say you're a master of every, you're a jack of all things and master of none. Now that is what people normally say. That's what people normally do. But I don't believe in that. Just because you can do many things, that doesn't mean to say you don't have to be a master of, and you don't have to be in that typical saying master of none. You can be a master of all. You see, great entrepreneurs out there, what they tend to do is they innovate, they create. So the more they get, the more they do, and they keep going and they keep going. But for years, people have been constrained to thinking that you've got to do one thing. You've got to go to school, get an education, and then you get a job, and then you get your pension, and then you retire, and then you die. And there's no life in that to a certain extent. Okay? So it has changed now. The game has completely changed, whereby people are no more actually following those simple patterns. There are words that have been said over the years. And those words which have been said over the years, we are realizing now that they're actually somewhat constraining us, keeping us back. And I tend to always say, I'm not going with the flow, I'm breaking against the mold, and thank you, Diane, for saying that too. And what I find very interesting of these last days as well, I'm seeing some new shift in the way of things are being done. I've seen a new shift how politics is being done. I've seen a new shift as to how people are now being innovative in social media. People don't want to go back to work. I remember years ago, sometimes some organizations would not want to employ anyone and will not be in the office where they can look at them in the office physically there, that they're actually doing something. But things have changed now whereby people are saying, listen, I don't matter. Just get in there and do the work. And by doing the work, what they're actually saying is that the objective and the output will be the determining factor. That is what it's going to be. The determining factor will be the output. And I'm not going to touch this yet, but I want to touch this bit about the elections in Jamaica. I got to touch on this, but I'm not going to touch it yet. Let me deal with certain things a bit first. And this is this sort of discussion is going to be the type that I actually what should I say? It won't be typical because I'll be touching on some subjects which actually may be unscripted, unapologetic, somewhat challenging to the point that it may be even deemed to be uncomfortable, because as people we tend to have the propensity to actually go with the flow. But if you just hold 1 second, please. 1 second. Yes. And so yeah, the historic pattern of learned behavior. That is what Hope said. The historic pattern of learned behavior. Now, I want to ask you this question. I want to just go with the flow today. I want to have a conversation. What are some of the things that you have heard and you have accepted over the past, which is deemed as you're going with the flow, and you're realizing that, oh my days, that is so much a part of me now that I need to break out of it. It's like there's some sayings, there's some sayings sometimes that people use. Some sayings like, don't put your hat where you can't reach it. Now, where's my hat? I can't even find my hat. Normally I have a hat here. You saw me doing that dance, singing that song the other day, and I had a hat whereby I was singing Stacey Lottie Saw, or the moment saying, don't throw it all away. That's beautiful. It's beautiful. I love that song so much. You need to watch that song, ladies and gentlemen. It makes you fall in love all over again. And now someone is challenging me to do Johnny Gill, half crazy. or something like that. I said, no, I'm not going to do half crazy. I'm going to do put on your red dress. That's what song I'm going to put on next. So watch your space for that one. Of course, I'll be lip syncing. So what are some? So listen, don't put your hat where you can't reach it. Don't put your hat where you can't reach it. And it is seeming so right. Don't put your hat where you can reach it. What's the sense of putting your hat where you can't reach it? It is so right. That makes sense. But when you look deep into it, you're finding that, a second, you're just staying safe in that zone. You're just staying safe. You're not actually want to break through. You don't want to break out. You don't want to stretch beyond. I believe that you should put your hat where you can't reach it. So I would change it to say, put your hat where you can't reach it. And you know what? You're going to end up reaching it because you're going to stretch. You're going to stretch yourself. You're going to find something to stand upon in order to reach it. So you got to step beyond and above the typical thing. Let me hear what you have to say. Good afternoon, Sylbourne. Yes, good afternoon, Lorna. How is it in Jamaica? What is it? I'm going to talk about these dub plates a bit later to show that they're not going with the flow as well. Hope, love. The historic pattern of learned behavior, hence the idea of going with the flow. The idea of going with the flow. Why rock the boat? Why not stay safe in the comfort zone? And that is why I also say, many people say this, and they also say this, the sky is the limit. You know that saying. Do you know that saying? The sky is the limit. That is what many people say. But I've changed it. Yes, I have changed it. I've given it a different spin to it. And what it is, don't go with the flow. This is what it says. The sky is the start. The sky is the start. Think about it for a second. The sky is the start. How does that sound? It means to say that when you are saying the sky is the limit, what you're actually saying is that you've already established limits in your life. You've established a limit. So I say the sky is the start. I mean to say that's where you start from, the sky. Somebody said to me, Sylbourne, that's a bit very arrogant, isn't it? That's a bit very full of it for you to say that. And I said, no. Why should you stay at a certain level? Let me hear what Dean say. But if you put your hat where you can't reach it, makes you find a way, expand your potential above what people expect of you. Bingo. Lauren said, I try not to be too gullible. That's the other thing. Try not to be too gullible. That's interesting. And Hope Love says, the constraint of that pattern which against learned and the fair, which was imposed on others. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go with the flow. I've done tons of videos on this whole concept of don't go with the flow. And let me find another video here about don't go with the flow, because I've done so many of them that resonates with me early on when I was doing the shows there, and it is powerful. I say, let me just find another one here. We cannot afford to go with the flow. I was watching, I was seeing something the other day. I got an email the other day, a message to say that it is time to boycott the BBC because of the N word which was used, that actually made a particular person who is also a person who works at the BBC to step away from his job, and he resigned. Okay, fair enough. I agree as well that one should not actually use the N word at all. I see as well persons who do music, they should not use the N word because it seems like it is okay for some and not okay for others. Period. The N word should be banned. Okay, because of what it is of a derogatory nature. So they resigned. Okay. And then I saw something come out say, let's boycott the BBC. Today you should be boycotting the BBC. Do you know that? Today is a day to boycott the BBC. That's what I understand. And also for compensation or so for the person who resigned. Let that land right there. Okay, so the person resigned because they did not like what the BBC is doing. They didn't like the N word, so they resigned. Fast forward to another situation. Okay, another situation is whereby someone that I know was called up by the management to say that in light of Black Lives Matters and they do not seem to have much diversity issues in their organization, what can they do? Person felt a bit to say, what am I to do about that? Well, they talk to me. I don't want to go there. I don't want to get in trouble. I just like to go to my work and stay in my job. Person spoke to me and I said, no, no, no. That's the reason why. That's the reason why you should be doing that. Because you're placed there for a person, for a purpose. And they had that meeting. And as a result of that, the management actually used some of the discussion and some of the suggestions that the person make and put it in an email. Okay? And send it around the organization, said this is what we're going to do. That person did not go with the flow. But they could have ended up going with the flow by just staying away from it, but they actually go in a different way. And actually, somehow, I've seen some changes. Now, I would think that someone working with the BBC, and if that happens, and they're in that strategic position, should be trying as much as possible to see how they can liaise with the lady, which is called um, what's her name? There's a lady who is on TV sometime who is now the diversity person for BBC to have a conversation and say, listen, I'm here, I'm not happy, but I don't want other persons to come in and to do that. Don't go with the flow. So what they've done, they've gone with the flow and do the same thing with a narrative. Rant and rave, misbehave. I'm not saying for that particular person, but that's what happened. And I don't think that is helpful sometimes. Sometimes we've got to go against the flow, go against a typical thing, because we're seeing, as for instance, in the Black community, lots of demonstrations, lots of the petitions, and we see that keep going on and on. And we're lacking a level of creativity in order to move things on a different way. Somebody said, what would you do? I said, that's exactly what I would do. Stay there and try to see if I can make a big difference. Okay? And try to get more people in. Now let me hear what persons have to say about that. Is it that the narrative it is that narrative more of control? If majority believe that narrative, then majority will only have limited scope. This carried out for so long historically, enabling so few success and majority remain at the very bottom, going with the flow. Going with the flow, definitely. And somewhat being, and what I would say, unfortunately, deemed to be like a sheep. And when one is being like a sheep, all that happens is that there's no level of success in a way because you're not able to actually break through. So and let me play this other one here. These are some of the videos which I have with Don't Go With The Flow to sort of set the stage here for a second. This one. I don't even know what this one title is, but I just played it. So here we go. You know, people sometimes talk about games. You can either be on the field, playing the game, or you can be in the stand, watching the game. Where do you want to be? I know where I want to be. I want to be playing the game. You know, when you're playing the games, and all the games we're talking about is balls, people kicking balls, golf balls, everybody playing football, whatever. But you know what happened in the stand? When you're in the stand, the ball will hit you. When you're on the field, playing the game, you're in it. Some people sometimes say, I don't like playing games. But I say games are powerful. In everything, there's a key attribute and a factor towards game, because guess what? Games have rules. Games are powerful stuff. The Olympics, the World Championship, golf tournament. These are not people playing around saying, I'm gaming around. That's why we got to distinguish between game, the serious game, or just playing games. What I want to say is that try to aim to be on the field and not on the stand. Don't go with the flow. Now, now. There's a lot where that comes from. A lot where I realize I've been sitting on these videos for a while, sitting on some powerful stuff, you know, whereby just really encouraging good evening insight to marketing, whereby we don't go with the flow. Now, if I become a bit cheeky now and go to Jamaica, they're having this election there, this election August the 3rd, and I'm glad that I'm somewhat a part of it in the sense in the media world, whereby I had a show last week, Sunday, well, this week Sunday, and I'm going to have another one this Sunday, whereby we'll be talking to hopefully a senior person from the Labour Party or the People's National Party, a senior person from the PNP or the Labour Party on the next Sunday. So there are 2 consecutive Sundays that we plan to do this on, the 23rd and the 30th, because the election on the 3rd between Andrew Holness Labour Party and the People's National Party, Peter Phillips, People's National Party. Okay. But something has been happening there. There's been a game changer in Jamaica, a total game changer. And what is happening is this election is run a different way. A different way? What do you mean a different way? It is still a general election, but it has a different tone to it. It is the election, they call it, of dub plates, right? And dub plates are like specials that I don't know if person go to dance and understand these things. These are like specials which are put together by a particular person, DJ, special name, and they use it in order to gain traction. But what is happening now is that the different government officers, MPs or so, they are actually using dub plates. And I want to play a couple of them. And I want to sort of expand on it a bit more because I think it's exciting. I think people have their different views of it, but I think there's something different. Let's look at this one for Andrew Holness, the Prime Minister of.
Is there? The baddest song represent for the baddest. I said I represent for the most honorable Andrew Holness. Is there? Mr. Universe from 2K11, victory with a easy enchant. Andrew do even think na sweat job fling on the stand. Some MP a peasant bone a muscle with the tendon. So we campaign tight like we squeeze them extra. Secret them well at the big fire keep on get gas. Yes sir, from scratching building method begin with the pressure. Insist for the things are very special. Descendant mighty them is regular check them temperature. Them cannot touch the link much as dependent. No discretion for attention, them a get that rise the disinfectant. Roll out with the wet map and Joel bad. Discretion for attention, them a get that rise the disinfectant. Roll out with the wet map and Joel bad. No regret cause him the make for call him next shot.
Okay, so that is one for Andrew Holness now. And the narrative and the word out there is that it is engaging with the young people, right? And by engaging with the young people, it's actually breaking the mold and getting into there. Some people are actually saying that this is not actually being anything of substance. It is just airy-fairy, microwave style. It's just into like a fanfare, and politics is now becoming a joke in a certain way in Jamaica. I think that in a way, and another way, I think, hang on a second, we got to be innovative in many ways because the substance, I believe, is not gone. They're going to have a manifesto. They're going to have 3 major debates, but at the same time, there is a need for engagement. And I believe that what is happening there, and this is what I actually start to think about this very seriously. But before I go there, let me see something here. What person said. When I was in Antigua and Barbuda, the elections saw dub plates, and even as artisans state, dub plate cost money. Chantel join. Good evening. Yeah. What I started to think about it is that, you see, during this COVID period, what has been happening is this. A lot of artists somehow are not working. They're not having dance. They're not having sessions. And somehow this is something which I believe is assisting them because I don't think it's free. I don't think they're doing it because of political party they support. I believe it's business. And that's what dub plate is done. A person watched these dances years ago, and with Super Cat and Ninja Man and all those other people, they put themselves on dub plates. You saw Barry G, Boogeyman, and Radigan, and they all have sound clash and they use these dub plates at each other in a certain way, and they say, and a song boy for dead, you know. So therefore, I believe it is something very innovative, whereby um, enabling some of these artists to make some money, or they say eat a food, and also to engage again with the younger people who are flooding and who are gravitating toward this sort of music. And let me play another one which I think it's really good. So I played first the prime. It's like I'm doing a dance, But I played first the Prime Minister, and Johannes, and I'm gonna play another one now, and you will know this one. Who can guess which one I'm gonna play? Anyone can guess which one I'm gonna play. You get a prize. Um, Let me see. Um, 1, 2, 3. But before I do that, let me actually um, engage with what persons are actually saying. Here we go. I'm not going to play it yet. Let me hear what people are actually saying about the points that I raised about these dub plates. Yes, they are. No, they are. No, there are better ones. Of course, there are better ones. I like I like the Lisa Anna one. Well, Lorna Foster is not Anna. It's Hannah. Hannah. Come on. I'm not gonna play it until you spell it right. Hannah. I know it's a spelling error, yeah, no problem. Um, I love the one Spice do for her. Okay. Stunting. Okay, all right, okay. So let me lit this one. Ladies and gentlemen, let me lit this one now. Okay, this one is back. Ready, steady, go.
Lisa Anna go bust them bubble and walk out everybody in a trouble and face a been up them a struggle them a cuddle. Lisa make everybody just a grumble and Lisa make Jamaica look good. Southeast and tan them a boom 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 boom. Lisa body boom boom. Walk out Lisa your body boom 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 boom. Lisa Anna none of them right now can defeat. Fix up the place, sentence look sweet. No long talking, she a work for the street. Miss World 93, yeah she do it. Boom it and a catch it, Lisa fix it. She not chat it when she walk out on the street. She full of style, she never drop it. Articulate, she got it full of class. She never skip it, just sophisticated. But no cross the line, she know if you up it hard. Lisa, yes, that's how we like it. Road fix, we a drive and a ride it. Lisa, yeah, we like it. Fix up the place, so we like it. Lisa, big up yourself, Queen said that. You know, I don't want to talk up some more something and go out with myself, but me for keep it nice and cute.
Okay, sorry about that. Sorry. My apologies. Um, Wheel and come again. My mic was off. I was on mute. Thank you so much for letting me know that that was happening. We come again. The question I was asking now is what is it for what is it about the music now? What is it about you see Lisa Anna, what she was doing in her video is not just dance only. She was actually showing some of the work she's doing in the community, right? And she's actually talking about some of the things that Spice is talking about. Spice is using the typical thing because as Jamaicans, everybody know that we love music, and we can't get away with that. Everybody have that's in the step. Someone said they're doing it for likes. Well, if they're doing it for likes, trust me, at the same time, that is good because at least they're engaging and what it will do I believe it will, without a doubt, bring out the young people in the sense to want to listen and to want to engage. So you're actually starting from a position whereby you're able to touch the core of who you want to touch, your voters. So you're going against the flow. You're not being typical. You're not being stiff, you know. And then by virtue of such, then people will gravitate because they say, "Wow, she cool." I remember one time I went to do a talk with some young people, and they're looking stiff and everything like that. You know, I think I was in a jacket or so. I took off my tie, and they still look stiff. And then I said to them, "Listen, you know, guys, let's do a rap. Let's do a rap party." And I said, I can rap." And I said, "Nah, you can't rap." I said, "Let's do a rap." And I said, "What's your name? Let's do a rap." I do the beatbox, you do the rap. And one person, I said, and I said, "For the people in the place to be, my name is Sidon. When you listen to me, I'm here talking to these students. Ray, Ray." I did like a freestyle. And them said, "Ray, Ray, 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 yeah, 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 yeah." And they all got relaxed. You know, they got relaxed, and I got them eating out of my hands right there by virtue of music with the young people. So I say sometimes that even though I actually said that there was a lack of maybe substance, I had to actually accept the fact that they got to reach a meeting point, whereby they can actually say what someone Trinidad is saying. Trinidad and Jamaica election campaign is loaded with local artist music. You actually think it's a song, then you hear their political points. You know, that's what Simone said on Instagram. Trinidad and Tobago election campaign is loaded with local artist music. You actually think it's a song, then you hear their political points, and that is it. And inside Tomorrow, I need to listen into that Simone. So what we are seeing is a new dimension and a new style. Can you hear me? Make sure you can hear me as well. And I'm very excited about it, actually. I was a bit off on it, but then I started to think about it deeply and look at different ramifications of it and different styles of it and say, yes, this makes sense. But of course, I've got to look at, unfortunately, I do not have them in order whereby a PNP, then a JLP one. I'm just grabbing the ones that I can find. But I you know, so I hope I'm not being accused of having more PNP or JLP one. But I do like Stylogy and Peter Bunting, who is a senior person within the People's National Party, and sound like stunting, Peter Bunting, stunting. And as a result of that, here we go with Peter Bunting.
Yo, Peter Bunting, stunting. Central Manchester, warm to them. Yo, Bunting out and stunting. Kyle them tick like dumpling. Comrade gal them jumping. Action ready for the thumping.
Yo, this have a buzz still in it.
Bunting car said the dub just reach. Just calculate the total PB and PMP I am social. Bunting straight like me pants them, oh lord. If a style we a put it on them, oh lord. Gala come vote, bring a friend. Say she want par with Bunting them. Boom boom when Mark pull up with the yang yang. One in trench don't cheng cheng. We not two, we happy big friend. Entourage, tell them Bunting out and bad. Stunting, them gala say sweet like pumpkin.
Okay, so that is Peter Bunting there, and you know what Simone said. It catches your every ear. Now, I don't know if anybody have I don't know if anybody have any sort of other ones. I'm sort of lacking with some JP1, but I know there's some. If you can actually send it to me, so I can actually play. That would be really fantastic. But you know what? Okay, I can hear somebody say out and stunting. Hope Love, all that dub. What Hope Love said? All that dub plays sensational is fine, Sylbourne. We are people who love our music, like cook food and such. However, that should not be the focus of the artist. However, on development, they seem to have put the cart before the horse. The sensationalism before the substance. We have so much work to do. No political point to date. Crucial now more. Dion says out and stunting. I guess you're saying Peter Bunting is out and stunting. life can't always be. I like the concept they have adopted. So what do you say then? Is this going with the flow, going against the flow? Is it a new way of doing things or so? What do we say? Going with the flow or going against the flow? I got more, but I'm realizing now. I realize I got a problem now because I do not. I just realized that I do not have much JLP1, and I can't play three PNP1 in a row. So therefore, if somebody have a JLP1, that would be good. But but at the same time, what it doesn't even really matter whether it's PNP or JLP. Really, it's about niceness. And let me see something here. Do I have another one? Yes, I got one. Chensey. Yeah, there's a Chensey one here. Bingo for Brogad. And this one is wicked. Let me play this one. I think I'm enjoying this actually. Should have a dance session. What do you guys think? Andrew Holness. Boom.
It's a girl Shensi are representing for the most honorable God, Mr. Andrew Holness. Ashensia, usually we indecisive, but this time bro gotta win and we sure. Yeah, the people them we a pass like him. Yeah, Mr. Holness a roll little more. Give me little more, give me little more, give me little more. No la. You run the country stronger we march. Look pan we leader stepping in cars. Build more highway JLP party. Prosperity color green like grass. Campaign. No easy, say now we leader stepping in cars. Build more highway JLP party. Prosperity color green like grass. Campaign no easy, say now the vote them car them needed. The future bright with bro God in it. Put up your two fingers if you feel it. Usually we indecisive, but this time bro God win and sure.
Okay, so it is speaking about confidence and assurance, building up the highways and the byways for the Chinese and everything like that. So that is what Shensi is actually saying. Fortunate to have a couple more, which has come true here. Let me just play a couple more, and you can see actually that they're deemed to be some messages. Let me see. Are you hearing me? Yeah. You can hear me there. Yeah. Hide that there. Where are we? I can't play those unless they're on YouTube. I can't play those, the one that you're sending me. It's got to be on YouTube or something like that. It's difficult for me to play those links. If it's only a YouTube version, I can actually play now at this moment. So if I can't play anyone which is on Facebook or so, it's got to be a YouTube link or actual link. So anyway, I think the whole essence of what I'm actually talking about is that there are times one has got to go against the flow, go against the grain, go against a typical thing. It may not make sense, but trust me, people adapt, right? There's an adaptation which is taking place. A lot of us, they spice up the election. Jamaican people love music, but we know the job at hand is about policies. And I believe what it does, it set the stage for the various debates which will take place on next week. I think one on the 24th, 24, whatever like that, between the Prime Minister and as well the opposition leader. Is also going to be the Prime Minister, the Minister of Finance, Nigel Clark, with the opposition Minister of Finance as well. And there's also going to be another debate with young people. So therefore, I believe the music somehow is setting the stage and putting people in. That's all I can say. Setting the stage and putting people in, and it's incumbent upon the leaders to bring people up, because sorry, there's another thing about it, is that whereby, and the question is it the leadership stepping down to the level of the people? Or is it stepping up to the level of the people? Or is it that the leaders have a duty to bring the people up, not to step down? But then it all depends if they're stepping up to the people. That's a sort of ramification of it, the whole thing. Because a leader needs to inspire and to bring people up, take them to a next level. Is this bringing it down? Is it a lowering down the standard? Or is it engaging to bring it up to the standard? That is something there worth thinking about. Learning method is varied. There's another way of informing others of their party policy, accomplish, etc. And I tend to agree with that as well. Let me hear what Beanie Man girlfriend said.
Crystal, well, bored. And I'm represent for the winning party all the time. The way we never used to have no way to sleep. Crystal, me I represent. Every week we day in the street. We say PMP, another to represent. Same team, this will be a dream, so we must reach. Crystal I work, so you can't say shortlist. Them say we not no feelings and we can't touch this. Yo, Crystal, tell them, so we no reach how we want to reach it. Enemies keep sending we tread. No matter feel, so we not no reflex. PMP, them are the realest. Hustle with the team, focus on real. Help out the youths, we no want them still. We granny ever say you can't hear, then you feel. PMP, we have vote right. Crystal up and work all night. Yeah, everybody where you know alright. Up and work all night. PMP, you not forget them all when you live this.
Oh, yeah. David Burton want to dance off. You want to dance off which one has the best vocal. David, I must say to you, I don't know how old you are, but Bogle a long time business in a star. So I shouldn't do you like that because you need to come on the show tomorrow night. So I won't do that bad. But Bogle is an old time thing, I'm saying. There's many more dances out there which I can't even try to help you with. We have to do some research. Dan may have to help you with that regarding the dance. But anyway, that is the essence of what I wanted to talk about today about don't go with the flow. And what we're seeing is the Jamaican government not going with the flow along with the whole political thing. I wonder who started it though. But these things it's a new style of way of doing things, and we have got to adopt different ways of doing things. But I do like the various music, and it's very creative and it's very entertaining. And I'm not saying that I want to look down, and I will not look down on anything, but I do have to play this one. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not getting much JLP1 here, but I'm just. This is just for niceness, as I say, just for niceness. Damian Crawford.
Like politics time, and me here for the young artists I do dub. Mr. Crawford manifesto, and he have a buzz, so grandpa happy vice a dub too. Cause from me a boy, labor rang a wicked, and now me a 103. Them wicked same God Almighty way. Anyway, labor right happy God. Dash the bell, who no ring the holler. And no if nor maybe, labor right take me money my matey. He said we done with the crap. 4 years them a thief non-stop. And what make he was a hat. Them a flash and with your side gunshot.
David, this is how you do the dance.
Them rap pick me and no shit. How we think say hit gun. We see soft and y'all will come boy. Labor right to move the great. Peter Philip I go sweep them way. The other day a little bird tell me say they was really with that the one day.
No, I'm not done with it. So here we are. Okay. So there we are. Deon, you said you sent one. Okay, well let's find another label, right? Let's find another label one, if anything. I think you see you send some. Are these different persons, or are these the same? The same for Brogad? We need to get a different one, if anything like that. I'm sorry, I'm enjoying this actually. I'm surprised that YouTube hasn't sort of shut me down or anything. I think you keep sending me Brogard one. I've done a lot of Brogard one. I'm trying to find other persons there. The three that you sent me, then they're all about Brogard. The same thing. I'm trying to find other persons within the Labour Party. Not just. I think I played three for Brogard so far. They're all.
Hey, you don't know it's a Russian say representing for the most honorable group.
I just saw that one again which you sent, and that is also one which I played already. And if I listen to this one, let me hear what this one is saying.
Lisa,
this one is about Lisa Anna. I don't know what that one is saying. I don't want to use too much other person's material. Yeah, I don't know that one. Anyway, I think the point has been said, and the message is very clear, as much as possible, that it's a new order in the sense of how they're doing politics in Jamaica, and I think it's appropriate. I don't think it's bad. I just think it's a new order and it's a new way of doing things. So without further ado, I'm going to wrap up now, and tomorrow night, make sure you come on and watch the In Review, which is with Keisha Kema and David, as we look at some of the top news. There are a lot of different things which are happening. We're going to talk about the school's saga, which has been another fiasco. I want to talk especially about people. A lot of people are asking for the education secretary to resign, and I always question all the while why people just like people to resign so much when things go wrong. I always believe that the person who is at fault or something like that, or is on top of the situation, why not they stay and get them to sort it out? We just like to blame. Everybody's like to blame. Everybody's try to get at each other's throat. It's like when they're doing interviews, like with Don Butler and Dan Abbott. It's like they're just trying to catch them out. They have all the information that they need, but they just want to catch them out. They just want to blame, ascribe blame and stuff like that. It's a cutthroat way of doing interviews. Blame, blame, blame. Got you there. They have the information, they got the figures, but they just want to blame. And I just believe that there need to be a new way of doing these sort of things. And that is why when I invite someone from the leadership of the People's National Party and the JLP to come on next Sunday and the other Sunday, is to say to them, this is not the type of discussion that we're going to have whereby we're trying to cut you down or trying to say, got one over you or so. It is more about inviting you or inviting them to share their policies. Of course, it's going to be scrutinized, but with Matunda and Dr. Kevin Brown. But it is for the diaspora also to have an engagement with them. But it is more to hear the information. So therefore, if someone don't have that information at hand, that is not the reason to say, hey, I got the information. It's actually 2,000. Do you know what you're doing? Nah, if you have the information, it's actually it's 2,000. Oh, yes, right, Sylbourne, it's 2,000. Yeah, no problem. Because you're trying to get the information out there. You're not trying to get sensationalism, not to try to get likes and dislikes or whatever like that. I believe that there needs to be a new order where we don't go with the flow. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the key message I said today. Don't go with the flow. And every Wednesday, I'm going to have something looking at a different way of not going to flow as well. Too many faults with Williamson. Okay, in all seriousness, I hope this stays fun and fresh all the way through to election day with no animosity between the opposing parties. Positivity all the way. Yes, David. Jackie Clark saying too many faults with Williamson. Well, to be honest with you, Jackie, there's too many faults with every single politician these days. Everybody have a fault. Boris have a fault. What's his name have a fault? Jeremy Corbyn has a fault. People are now finding fault with Keister. Everybody's got a fault these days. My thing is that we love to get people to resign too much and don't get them to be held accountable. Held accountable where they stay there and they fix the thing. Fix it. We all love to get somebody, get them out. Get them out. Oh, you're a Tory. So therefore, you're a Tory. Get them out. You, whatever Tories are, so like that. Who cares? Let people sort it out. That's my view. Don't go with the flow, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Sylbourne. Tomorrow night at 9 o'clock, where we don't go with the flow with David, Kima, and Keisha. And on Friday night, we get a young people. I said young people in Jamaica. I need 2 young persons to come on and talk about what's their view on politics in Jamaica at this time with the stunting and the bunting. And also on Saturday, we go across the Atlantic. Named by who? I don't know as yet, but we'll find someone. And then on Sunday, we get the Prime Minister. Let's get the Prime Minister. Why not? Let's get the Prime Minister to come on to one of the show. I'm going to message Andrew. I got his number. Message him and say, Andrew, listen, man, you owe me a favor now. Time to come on the show as well. Or get someone key like Dr. Nigel Clark, finance guy. Let them explain as to what they're doing as well. And also for the People's National Party, get Peter Bunting or Peter Phillips or someone like that. Damien Crawford or someone who can actually speak about the issues and the policies. So I've sent the charge. I've been working on it. Hasn't finalized as yet. But nothing is impossible because guess what? We don't go with the flow. Okay? Lorna Foster, yes, we hope for a peaceful election. Bingo. And blame and culture mentality. We need to work together to resolve issues. Bingo. We need to work together. And yeah, on that note, have a good night. Be blessed. Like and subscribe to the show. Thanks for those on YouTube. Thanks for those on Instagram. And hope you enjoy the show. And let me know next week, what should we don't go with the flow with. Yeah, find a topic. This is my night. I call Wednesday night my night. My night where I can don't go with the flow and chat anything. Good stuff. Sorry, did you say you sent me another one? Hold on. Did you send me another one? You sent me another one. Okay, all right, okay, good. Because we play so much JLP one, so let us play another PNP one, and then since we play a lot of PNP one, let's go out with my good friend Babsy. Because Babsy came on my show the other day, so I've got to big it up for Babsy. Who knows? Babsy might even come on the show. Let's go for Babsy.
I'm an honorable Babsy Grange. The poor people in a strange. I hear on the name from town to Mobile to Spain. Yes, I act in presenting Babsy Grange. Babsy Grange run the place, ring the bell. Forget the vote, she not prank. The opposition, them a lie and them a ram. But from a gal, oh God, tell them Babsy no beg more things was a blank. You know like when me can sing something wrong. Hear me no Babsy, you are the honorable one. You are broke God right and Babsy no fake for no vote. So not up and we body na bun way. I'm an honorable Babsy Grange. The poor people in a strange. I hear on the name from town to Mobile to Spain.
I happy now, dear.
Yes, I have to present Babsy Grange. Babsy Grange run the place, ring the bell. Forget the vote, she not prank. The opposition, them a lie and them a ram. But from a gal, oh God, tell them Babsy no beg more things was a blank. You know like when me can sing something wrong. Hear me no Babsy, you are the honorable one. You are broke God right and Babsy no fake for no vote. So not up and we body na bun way. Babsy and broke God a run for we country. The next party a try and have to run way. Babsy don't have to fret for lengths. No matter where the opposition comes, Jamaica broke that country. Them a try to run this and run well. Babsy Grange we tell them. So we grow. Spanish.
Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, have a good night and peace out and all the best. And see you tomorrow night as well on the show on the late one. Thank you. Bye bye.